Welcome to episode 2 of Kinetic Blue. I'm so glad you're back. I hope you enjoyed the first episode. I ran slightly over, but I just wanted to give everyone a strong sense of where we're going with this. I hope to inspire and to teach a lot of people as best that I can, from those that have taught me and from those that I've learned from. And that if your heart is kind of calling you towards listening more, then you are so welcome. As you know, I am here to share my life experience. And this week, we're going to be chatting a little bit about entrepreneurship, how someone that was extremely conditioned to get a good job and work her way to the top of it became an entrepreneur, how I knew what to do, how I had any clue where to begin, what it looks like, and what that road of entrepreneurship is. A little bit about my companies, how they run today, and how I time manage, which has been quite a big question from a lot of people over the years. I don't know how you do it. And I never ever want people thinking that everything is always just perfect, or that it just happens so easily, or that I'm just like extremely lucky, or whatever it might be. I'm going to just uncover how it all began. It was a kind of woman like, can't remember her name, was it Michelle Moan or one of those who did like Spanx or something like that. And I remember thinking, I've got my whole life to do something great. And I always remember thinking that it would be later in my life that I'd really actually understand my calling and what it is that I was supposed to be doing. And it actually says in the Bible that it's important that we all understand our gifts and that we use those to the glory of God, and to the glory of your own self and your own life and those around you. There was nothing more empowering for me to know and be assured in the fact that I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing, that this is my absolute calling, and that I'm doing it for love and for passion and for joy, and that it can also bring you money, and it can also support you, and it can also be great. But it is not always that easy. So when I went on my first maternity leave, I turned to my husband and I said, I just haven't been struck by any great idea. It's so sad. I thought I was going to be that woman that was going to come out with this like remarkable idea, and the next thing it would all be great. And he said to me, but look what you're doing. He's like, you've changed your whole life through how you're eating. It was Valentine's Day that year, and he'd bought me an 80-liter stock pot, and I was boiling these bones and I was giving broth to everyone I knew. And he said, maybe this is your business. And I remember thinking, wow, yeah, maybe it is. And that was it. So a little bit like transformation in life, people, and I always said it in my mastermind, you don't wake up one day and be like, oh, I'm healed. Oh, I'm transformed. Oh, everything is new. It is in the little mundane, small things that bring great change to your life. So it was just this simple understanding of like, oh, I'm actually doing this business. Let me now just formally make it a business. And from there, really, it is just about putting one foot in front of the other. I remember saying to him at the time, how do I do it? How do I do it? How do I do it? He's like, I don't know. Go and find someone who's done it and ask them. Go and find someone who's done that and ask them. Just 1 foot. And that's what I did slowly but surely. Registered my company, made some contacts, and started to knock down doors. And my biggest piece of advice to both women and men is that, first of all, if you are a Christian and you feel like you've got a God-given calling, your path is paved, and you walk it upright in righteousness, like knowing that this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and it will be paved with gold. If you're not so sure and you're still kind of wondering and questioning, when you feel like you can't and won't do anything else, that's probably your answer. It's that inbuilt desire and passion to get up every day and progress that thing forward that is so amazing. And I really had that. I had that for us. I have that for Fierce Nature, and I have that for Kinetic Blue. I really, really have that. And it makes not a day in your life a day of work, if that makes sense. And a lot of people say that ever since I became an entrepreneur, I work a lot and so on, but not a day in my life is a day of work. If you are chasing something other than that, and there isn't that inbuilt passion or calling, you might struggle, because entrepreneurship comes with massive sacrifice. And I am very blessed with the fact that I had a husband who at the time put his arms around me and said, look, you've worked for this family so hard. And I had for 10 years. I provided my way. I'd paid equal share. I'd saved a huge amount of money. I had shares in a business now. And not to say that we were like wealthy and laughing all the way to the bank, but I had provided, and there was money. And he was like, just take a break. And my sister even said it to me yesterday, when are you going to take a gap year? You're 40 and you've never taken a gap year. And I was like, yeah, these things are actually really important in life. Like resting to work, resting to discover, resting to uncover. And again, in the Bible, it's talked a lot about people that they go and they pray and they fast and they take time away from the world, resting their mind, resting their like just doing, and do instead of doing, do more being. And that's where some great things come to you. You might actually in that moment have what it is that your business is supposed to be revealed to you if you're looking to go down this path. But when I first quit my job, I remember thinking, I'm made now. My company's going to fly in 5 years' time. I'm going to be laughing all the way to the bank, and. Well, what came was a whole lot different. But each and every single step of the way has been so inspiring and so encouraging for me. And sometimes they say, like, hindsight is pure bliss, because you look back and you think, oh, this is all so perfect. I just wish I'd known it at the time. So as I trod those steps, I really learned a lot of hard knock lessons. The biggest one is that you can do anything, but you can't do everything. So I was really breaking myself and, trying to like be the person that does the sales, be the person that understands the accounts, be the person that's on top of everything, be everything to everyone. And it really tripped me up down the line, because you can't and you shouldn't and you mustn't be everything to everyone. You take what you are strong in, and in my case is the visionary, the way maker for the companies. I know where I want us to go. I have big sky thinking. My strategy is set, but do not ask me to make sure that the books are in order, or look at the nitty gritty of things, or be able to do a number of smaller tasks in the day. And that's when I started to understand that who you surround yourself with is extremely important on your entrepreneurial journey. And over the years, I've had some fantastic and beautiful team members, all of whom have come into my home and come into my life. I've always worked from home and been a massive, massive support system for me. And when you feel like you have people that you can trust and that have got your back and that share your vision, or that you can bring in to come and share your vision, you will have a lot of peace in yourself. It doesn't always begin like that. I had many years where I was on my own, and many years where I was confused, and many years where I was calling up my dad and my husband, asking them to crunch some numbers and giving me some insight into where we actually were and where we weren't, etc., etc. But those were also years when I had extremely young children and knew that I wanted another baby on the way. So I was probably first and foremost a mother, which is why it is extremely difficult for entrepreneurs to look at other entrepreneurs and make comparisons. And I used to do that a lot. Someone who's really influential in my life, who's an amazing entrepreneur and a husband, I could not compare myself to him, because he was not the mother and not the wife, and was in a different phase of his life and in a different age of his learning, and did things differently to I did. But I could glean from him as much information as I could and be inspired by him in the ways that I knew would make me stronger along my journey. So I urge you, if you're looking for change in your life, you must take the steps to get towards that change. But you must also know that it's kind of like being baptized again. It's like, no, you don't just like go into the sea and a prayer is said for you and you come out and you're reborn with Jesus as your savior, that your whole life is suddenly just made for you. There's still trials and tribulations and challenges and difficulties, and we go through them all the time. But sharing that load is what helps with everything. And that's a massive another thing that I've learned, both in my personal life, in my marriage, and in my work life, is that if you don't share your load, your back will be broken. So speak to people, ask people how they did it, see if there's someone that wants to partner up with you. I've always been a solo entrepreneur, and it was just never a question for me that that's how I would do it. But there are some people that are too afraid to go it alone. And I've heard many, many people speak about the power of a co-founder or a partner who has got your back, who's risk-taking with you, who's also struggling with you, who's also sacrificing like you are. And if you feel like you're more called to go that way, then by all means, please look for someone that you can co-found with and build your business together that way. Anything that is able to be created, made, or sold is a business, whether it be a physical, tangible thing, or whether it be knowledge or wisdom from your own mouth, or whether it be an experience that you have gone through that you believe someone else can learn from. There are a myriad of things online, through YouTube, through different courses, packages. You can reach out to me myself, where it is easy to package what it is that you believe you have and sell it. And that is what I spoke about in episode 1. It says in the Bible, find good things and sell them, lest you be the lender to make money, not to be the borrower. So it's quite beautiful that you give yourself that power to create something, sell it, put a margin on it, and earn money. And this was a very beautiful thing that I learned very early on in my journey. Having come from a background where money was tight, and we were always taught that, money doesn't grow on trees, and we respected money. But I respected money so much so that when my mom used to say to me, I want to buy you like a really nice pair of jeans. Everyone was wearing these Soviet jeans or these jeans with a big zip up the front. And she wanted to buy me the brand of those jeans. And I remember thinking, no, if I have that brand, if I don't have the brand, but I have like the fake of that brand, then we could save money as a family, and that money could go towards something better for our family. I don't know, whatever it might have been. And so my mom used to say, no, I want to buy this for you. And I'd be like, no, it's fine. I'll just have this and keep the rest of the money for whatever it might be. That carried on into my marriage. My husband bought me magnificent gifts, and I would make him return them and think the money is better off in the bank account than it is spent on me for things that I don't really need, But unfortunately, what I came to learn, and this is written about in the Bible as well, is money is a form of exchange, and there are principles. The Bible teaches principles of money, which I'll get into later on, and we'll back it up with scripture and with the principles of the world and show you how they overlay. But trust me, if you are not accepting of gifts in your life, you almost curse the gift giver, if that makes sense. It forms a break in the chain. So if you switched on a light and that circuit was broken, you don't get any light, any power to that globe to light up what it is that you need illuminating. And for many, many years, I broke that circuit, and I was creating a curse upon my own self for not receiving, but a curse upon the gift giver, because a person that tries to give a gift and that gift is thrown back in their face, it's a block of a flow of energy, and it's extremely, extremely dangerous. And I thought I was doing, I don't know, like the greater good for the world or whatever it might be. And I did the same in my companies. I will pay those people that work for me. I will reward those people that do good work and my company, but everything that is coming to me that I deserve, the money that I deserve to earn from this work that I'm doing, I need it not. My husband has given me this time. I've got savings, but it just came to pass where we're really lovely. The people on my team were saying to me, Catherine, you need to take what is rightfully yours. You need to earn money. You need to either take a dividend, or you need to take a salary, or you need to, whatever it might be. But I learned that lesson the hard way. And I'm telling you now that you do not need to feel bad if your business is making money, and if your business is making a lot of money, and if there's a lot of growth, and then if there's a huge amount of opportunity. That is the nature and the principle of business. And so that for me was very, very freeing, that I didn't need to be so stringent and strict in my ways that we would, that it was painful. That in actual fact, the idea of being an entrepreneur and making your own business is so that you have, and when you have, you can give. And that is another principle of money, of the principle of money that the Bible preaches, that I really have been practicing, and I've practiced my whole life, but found it quite difficult because of this scarcity mindset when it came to money, which was that you give to those that are less fortunate than you. And my son said to me the other day, Mom, how come there's so many poor people on the earth? I said, it's really difficult to understand why there's so many poor people on the earth, because there are so many people with so much money that if they gave 10%, 5%, 1% of what they had, not to a church, not to someone else that has wealth, but to someone that they came into contact with that they could see has less than them or is struggling, there would be much more even keel when it came to the spread of money on this planet. Imagine everyone listened to the Bible, 10% of what you have gifted, not to the church, because that's a mistake of teachings, is that everyone goes to church and thinks, oh, I better give money, otherwise I'm a terrible person, or the priest is going to look at me funny, or blah, 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 blah. In actual fact, the religion side of God is extremely sad and corrupted, and I'll talk about that in a later episode. So I'm not saying go to church and give all your money by any stretch, but I am saying if you are shopping in a supermarket and it costs you 10 to 20 dirhams or a couple of quid or whatever, wherever you are, to buy a hot meal, and you could give it to someone on the street or someone outside or someone who's washed your car or something along those lines, or you feel, do you know what, I'm going to buy myself I don't know, I'm going to fast, and instead of eating my meal, I'm going to give that meal to someone that doesn't have any food, or I'm going to give 10% of my money to someone that I know needs it. The feeling of that, first of all, is so beautiful, because you are seeing the end result of your fruit. I've started this business, I'm selling things, I'm making a profit, and some of that profit is going to this person, this person, this person, this person. I can see where my money's going. It brings great reward, as opposed to someone coming up to you on the street and saying, this is for cancer research, and you never know where your money ends up and what kind of research is actually going on. You give your money to people that are less fortunate than you, that are less that have less than you, and you see in their eyes that gift. It is so fulfilling. And the principle of the Bible says, and you shall be overflowing as a result of that. So can you imagine these footballers and these people that are earning millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions weekly, where it's very difficult to even ascertain what to do with that money? I've sat there, I talked about it in episode 1. I've been around people with money that they don't know what to do with, and that a portion of that went on. Imagine, there would be so much there would just be a flattening of that curve, and there would be so less poverty, which would be really, really beautiful. So your business is designed to do well, and you are designed to earn, and you are designed to enjoy, and you are designed to reap profits from the service that you are giving through your gifts back to the people of the world. So really, when it comes to entrepreneurship, the biggest thing is to make up your mind that you have a calling. The second biggest thing is to work tooth and nail to understand what your gifts are and how you can give. In many instances, people don't have that idea of starting something themselves from scratch, but they might partner with someone who has an idea, or they might look at other businesses that are for sale and understand where they can make their own life by being an entrepreneur. I'm not saying this is for everyone, but I'm saying if you have that calling and you want to do something yourself, I'm testament to how that might work. It is not easy. It doesn't come with money raining down on you, but you get to that point, and it comes with joy, and it comes with love, and it comes with you being able to use your gifts to serve the world. I'm so grateful that I'm able to provide people with a solution. People that want natural foods, people that want pantry staples, people that are interested in learning about gut health, people that have been scratching their head and going, hold on a minute, I've been listening to this medication and that medication and this cream and that cream for a long, long time, and I'm just getting sicker and sicker and sicker. I want to make a change. For people that are tired of being told that they need to alter their appearance or leave home in the morning with so many eyelashes on and this, that, and the next thing, but actually just that you feel connected to your own self, that you feel connected to your body, that you believe in power higher than yourself. In my case, in Jesus, you have something greater than yourself. You have the Word, you have the Bible, you have something to be led by, and that you're able to really, really know yourself. That's what entrepreneurship did for me. And maybe biblically what it did for me was it took all of my energy and my gifts and allowed me to focus them onto the home, as opposed to focus them onto an outside source, to work and give everything you have to someone else. There's that funny meme going around on social media where the woman goes, I'm so happy that I don't slave at home, and I'm like, don't sit around at home, and I'm not this homemaker, waiting for my husband to come home and cooking dinner or whatever. And then in the background, you see her boss going, Brenda, your 10-minute break's over, get back to work. So I'm not saying that there aren't really wonderful women doing beautiful things inside of corporations, and there's place for that as well. I'm saying just if your heart is yearning to turn and make a change, or if you do want to learn more about homemaking, if you do want to soften your edges a little bit, if you do want to understand how you can be at home and you can work, you can fulfill your passion, and you can be a mom first and foremost, then that kind of really is what I'm talking about specifically on this episode. So all your questions, I'd like for you to bring them in. As with everything in life, it is a journey. It really is a journey. And it took me a long time to formulate what I want to do with my life in my mind. In actual fact, I had always 4 kind of pillars that I wanted to work towards. One was food and nutrition, and inspiring people to understand from the minute that your baby is born that you have the power in your hands to affect the way the brain is developed, to affect their view of the world, to affect how comfortable they feel in their body, to affect how their body physically manifests, how strong it is, how aligned the spine is, how the muscles are forming and developing, how fast the neurons fire, how comfortable they feel with exploring and trying out new foods, and how aware they are of the impact that food has on how they work, on how they sleep, on their moods, on their emotions, and on how productive they are. Why are we not teaching our children this? Why do children have to figure out that living on McDonald's and brightly colored cereals will not serve them? Because most people are either extremely, very, very sick and ill by the time that they got to the age that I was at, and they realize that they need to make a change, or otherwise they never do, and they never get to understand the glory that kind of God has gifted us in the food that the land makes for us. Really well cared for meats like lamb and beef from animals that are grass fed, vegetables, fruits, all these beautiful things that we have access to and how they can impact our life. So that's where Us Organic was born for me. And there's a lot more to come from Us Organic. We're really, really excited about moving into the space of deep nutrition. And there's a lot coming out there as well for moms who are weaning. Day in and day out, I chat to moms, and I always say, please, if you can cook for your children, if you can get them to understand home cooked meals and the power and the importance of it, and they appreciate how it makes them feel. It's funny because everyone that's ever worked, I've only ever had 2 ladies help me in the house. In London, a lady who helped me part-time when I was working, and she helped with the kids, and we used to always feed her. And in Dubai here, a beautiful lady who's from Sri Lanka. And she said to me the other day, every time I eat out or I eat at a fast food place, whatever, I don't feel well. I never used to have that before. And I said, maybe because you're appreciating that the love and the energy and the nutrition that we put into food is so much more than just eating to feel satiated. And once you start to realize that your body gives you that, you get that spirit of discernment when you feel sick from eating certain foods that are not correct or right for the body. Because not all foods are correct or right for the body. Processed foods, case in point, are not correct or right for the body. And they will have a detrimental impact on you if you don't look into it and start to understand how food works both energetically, spiritually, and physically with your body. So I'll be talking a lot about that. And if you have any questions there, then please do. Then second pillar for me before I close was my skincare. Through eczema and through myself having a very, very difficult rashy skin when I was young, my second and third child struggling with eczema through the night, wearing eczema like a heavy jacket. It consumes you. I speak about it in my eczema course. Eczema changes the character of a child. It changes their disposition. It changes the disposition of the parents and of the family as a whole. It is extremely difficult to navigate. And that's where where Fierce Nature came from, my really wanting for people to understand that we don't need to lather ourselves in chemicals each and every single day. We don't need to strip our microbiome through some of these just shower gels that we're using. When you smell like the scent of your shower gel, what is happening is your microbiome, your natural pheromones, what makes you you, the smell of you that should attract your mate. It actually says in the Bible that we have these God-given marriages. Marriage is a construct designed by God, but the way in which you actually find your mate is through pheromones, the natural smell of your body. Now, all we are doing is scrubbing our body, disinfecting it, smelling like some kind of bright blue shower gel, and then covering ourselves in perfumes. And it's been in the last 8 years that I don't use, I use Fierce Nature's tallow soap, which I absolutely love, which is the way that our ancestors used to make soap. You use fat and you use lye, which is ash from the fire. You use a process called saponification, and you get a really cleansing, creamy soap bar, which is one of our best sellers, that doesn't have any chemicals in it, because you will not believe that soaps like Dove that proclaim to, not strip your skin will strip your skin. My point is, if you're smelling like these things and then you're covering yourself in chemical perfumes, which again are one of the greatest marketing ploys of all time, spray yourself in this chemical to smell unlike yourself, you will find it difficult to actually naturally meet the person that you're meant to meet. And I know people are going to think that's hilarious, but I can talk more on that in time. So natural makeup. And the last 3 pillars were our cleaning products, the way that we're looking after our home, the things that we're using to clean, things that we're using to wash our clothes. I dive deep into that in the mastermind, and I'm busy working on the solution for that by way of a business, which is really, really exciting for me. And the 4th one was bringing it all together through knowledge, which is this podcast, our YouTube channel, and our app, which will be launching soon, where all of this will be able to get through and move through. And I'm also open to having guests on this podcast. So if anyone knows anyone that's you feel would benefit from having a chat and backing up anything that I'm saying, I'd be more than delighted to chat to them. So that is my journey into entrepreneurship. It has been a long one, 2015, nearly 10 years since I founded Asa Organic. I've had times where I've been weeping on the floor, thinking I'm going to have to shut the company down. I've had times where I'm disinterested, not interested in that, the thing that I've born. I wondered how I did it. I've had times when I'm like, you be careful what you wish for, because when you put your hands, your heart, your mind to work, you will create something and you will be amazed. And I thought, how have I done this? I've had beautiful times and hard times. I've had hard conversations and lovely conversations, like anything in life, like marriage, like children, like friendships, like your walk with God. It's always comes with a myriad of challenges. But do I ever regret walking out of the office on that day? Not once. And I will share with you more as everything grows. If you want to know more about the companies, we'll tag them all below. And if you have any questions, please do let me know. What I'm going to be chatting about in the next episode is how I want the mastermind to look this year. for anyone that is interested in learning one-on-one. But I will be uncovering the highlights of my 52-week-long mastermind. We cover gut health, 12 weeks, everything that you've ever needed to know on gut health. And I will be adding biblical text into some of the scientific stuff that I was teaching fantastically, like the rays of the sun and the impact that they have on the body spiritually as well as physically. We did 12 weeks and we'll be again on toxic load, which is the impact of chemicals on the body, both in the home and outside of the home. But what people don't understand is most of the time they're being poisoned within the four walls of their own home. That is where we spend most of our time. That is where we sleep. And that is where we need to uncover where we can mitigate and help feel better and live better, mitigate things like detergents, toxic chemicals, etc. And I'm not saying you'll never clean your toilet with bleach again, or that you have to become a hippie and never wear makeup. And it's nothing like that. It's just an understanding, opening your eyes so that you have a deeper understanding. You can connect some dots and you can heal and be the most strong and resilient version of yourself. In the third quarter, we'd spent 12 weeks talking about trauma load. So I'll be touching on this in the episode next week, where we look at how the traumas in our life can actually be open doors, and how we can be extremely affected by trauma and can bring behaviors out in us that we don't really like or know how to control, but what to do about that trauma and ways in which we can work here in the physical and both spiritually to work through our traumas. And then finally in the fourth quarter, we tie everything together. So I'm going to be running through my mastermind, what we learned, some of the highlights, and how I'm going to be taking that course on into 2024 for anyone that's interested to learn. And the episode after that, I hope you join for. I'll be sharing my testimony, how I came to be being reborn into my Christian faith in 2023, what that's meant for me, and where I think that will take me going forward. And from then on, as I said, we will get into more mature things, a lot of which I want to discuss and have mentioned in episode 1 or 2. So thank you so much for joining us. Any questions, shout below, and please share with anyone who you think would love to hear.